Good morning / afternoon, gamers. What's going on?
Whenever it is you are tuning in.
Welcome into the Gamers Roast podcast. I'm your host, Joshua J. Alongside me, Wesley Lance.
Hello, everybody.
And today is Thursday, April 5th.
That is not at all accurate. It's March 31st. I don't know where you got that.
I decided to go ahead a week.
It's not even a week though. It would be April 7th.
4th? No.
What? No. Are you okay, Josh?
No, it'd be April 4th.
No, what?
Because today's Monday the 28th. So it'd be April 4th.
29th, 30th, 31st, and then the next week will be April 7th.
Well, no, I mean like I added 7 days to today instead of adding.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Next Monday will be April the. Gotcha. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon.
Anyway, I'm totally wrong on the day, like I always am. But welcome in. For those of you tuning in, we do it live every single Monday, and we post the recordings of this on Thursday for those watching later on YouTube. So, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. We got a lot of stuff going on today. We have another guest we're going to introduce to you guys. We're super excited for it. But yeah, we got coffee here to try. Where's it from again?
So this is Blue Lion Coffee Roaster from Pierceton, Indiana. Got the bag right here. This is the Captain's Choice Blend. I actually met this. Michaela and I went to a Living History Festival up in Kalamazoo last week. And, we saw a bunch of stuff that you would expect to see there. We saw, a bunch of like weapons, recreations, and old like clothing and books and that sort of thing. Something I was not expecting to find there was a coffee coffee roaster. It was a booth with a bunch of coffee. And I was like, what is this? So of course I had to buy some because I always try to buy some whenever I see something interesting. And I got to talking with him, and this guy has been roasting coffee for 20 years. He started when there were only 6 roasters in the entire state of Indiana, and he was like a provider for coffee houses. He's owned his own line of coffee houses. But this Captain's Choice blend is a blend of 7 coffees. He says 4 of them are roasted dark and 3 of them are lighter, and he chooses whichever one to roast to make sure that it like fits the blend correctly, or like each coffee is roasted to its like perfect to make it the best it can be. So I'm interested to try it. This is I never expected to find it, but I was like, I got to pick up a quarter pound. So also I have my Stratford mug with Little Shop of Horrors.
Nice. I went the iced route again today. I was gonna go French press, but I decided to go the ice. I don't know why. I was feeling it. I just was feeling it.
Well, we're gonna have it both ways this time.
It's in a McDonald's cup too, to boot. But
we are really doing this guy's coffee justice, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey! Iced coffee can be amazing.
No, it's funny. I just think it's funny that you just put it in a McDonald's cup. That's all.
Oh yeah, no, I feel bad about that, but you know what? I mean,
it is what it is. All right.
I love these cups. They're nice. They're just
at least you're reusing it.
Oh, exactly. So,
rather than throwing it away.
Saving the planet by reusing a single plastic
cup. One McDonald's cup at a time.
Not all heroes wear capes, ladies and gentlemen. Some of us
them drink iced coffee. Alrighty, right, Captain's Choice blend. Here we go.
Honestly, it iced really well. Not all coffees do, but this one really does.
This is incredibly smooth. It's got a nice, there's no bite to it.
Which is why I think it iced so well.
No, I think you're right. I think sometimes a really bitter iced coffee is not what you want. Yeah, I'm trying to kind of put words to it. Like, it's just a really nice, mellow blend. It doesn't do anything like super special, but I don't think it's trying to.
In all fairness, I did end up trying this when I was coming into the studio. Totally spaced the fact that we tried it on there. Today's been a long day. And so I was running in to the studio. I was just like, got to get there, got to get everything done. And I'm just running in with my coffee, and I just sipped it, because it's just what you do when you have it in your hand. And I was like, crap. But what makes sense now is that then I was like, because I immediately started thinking like, okay, well, what does it taste like? I can't just not think about that
Right,
anymore when I drink
exactly.
coffee. And so I was like, okay, and I didn't have any distinct flavors. So when you told me that it's a mix of 7 different coffees, I was like, that's why.
Yeah,
I couldn't. There was no distinct like, oh, this tastes. I just it makes it its own thing.
yeah.
You know, it
It's
definitely makes it its own thing.
it's got a nice, and that's not to say that it's not like robust or anything. Like it is. It's very
Right,
like
right.
it's very present, very bold, but it's not like the closest I would say is it's got like a chocolatey sort of undertone. That's about it. Other than that, it's just a really even palate. I really like it actually.
I would really enjoy this as a morning coffee.
Yes. No, very
Very
much so.
much.
I think that Chibo the I that Chibo stuff was so strong. This is definitely a better blend. All right.
Right.
I gotta pull up. We gotta pull up our score sheet. Getting the hang of this thing now. Boop. All right. So where are we putting this one?
Let's pull that up here.
I
I'd
still
be
think.
willing
Oh, go ahead.
oh, for this one, I'd be willing to put this in the 7.5 category.
You think so?
For me, yes. For me, yes. Which I don't put many there. So this made that awesome 7.5 tier, almost becoming more like more,
What
hard
word I
to
can't
get
type.
than even the 8 tier, which obviously you want that. But you know what I mean?
Uh
Like
huh.
I've put more there than I have even in 7.5. So
I
but yeah, I'd say 7.5.
I really wish I could do a 7.75 because I like this more than all of my 7.5 coffees. It's still not quite on the level of 3 avocados for me.
Well,
I
put
don't
it
know
all the
some
way at the top of your 7.5.
yeah, like this is basically a 7.75 for me, but I really really like the boldness of it. I really like the blend. I something about the 3 avocados had just an undertone that I really miss with something like this. Like it had a I don't know what it was. It tasted kind of like chocolate and caramel. I really liked that. And this one doesn't quite have that for me. But that's not to say it's a bad coffee at all.
Right.
So, alrighty. Blue Lion Coffee Roasters, Captain Choice Blend from Pierceton, Indiana. Give 'em a shot.
Yeah, another local
Mhm.
brewery.
I'm glad that we're
Um
trying more local roasters,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. And you said he gave you some information about that too, right? He had talked to you about it?
Oh yeah, he's got a whole
Yeah,
story which I don't
that's
really have time to go into, but one of
well,
the
hey,
things
maybe
one of the things he said was he was trying to convince cafes to go from like Folgers and Maxwell House to like gourmet coffee. He's like, you know how hard it is to convince somebody who is currently paying like $1 to $2 a pound for coffee to go up to like $10 a pound. He's like,
wow.
somehow I did it, but people are just used to paying for cheap coffee, and they kind of
Yeah.
don't realize what they're missing.
Well, that's a big jump, like this literally 10 times as much.
Yeah,
But that's how it is with a lot of things. Like you can get a car for 5 grand. Do you want a nice car, like a good car, like 50 grand?
yeah,
Like I mean, depends. It just how it scales with a lot of things.
right.
But maybe we can have him on sometime. That'd be really cool. Have him on
Yeah,
here talk about that.
he
So,
seemed interested. I think we've been talking about setting up a record date, so hopefully he'll be able to come
okay.
on and kind of talk about his story.
Well, hey, if that interests you guys in the chat, just hey, I mean, stay tuned. Maybe we can have that coming up here soon. Um, what's going on, Clever? How you doing, man? So let's move on to the roast of the week.
Yeah, real quick, and then we'll get to our guest. So, we'll get through this real quick because I wanna let our buddy on real quick. I didn't watch the Oscars. I feel like I missed out by not
No
watching the
one does.
Oscars.
No one watches the Oscars. No one does.
People watched this Oscars.
They
So
watched a clip.
they watched a clip of the Oscars. So in case you somehow do not know, I only knew because all of my people on Geeks Under Grace were flipping out. Uh, Will Smith smacked Chris Rock after he made a joke about after Chris Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife. Is I believe what happened. I don't know all of the
Yeah.
I don't know what the joke was, but I just know that Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. And people, as they always do, have opinions. Well, the internet wrongfully descends on the wrong Will Smith and Chris Rock after Oscars slap. Social media mistaken identity reached new heights during the 2022 Oscars. This is Ethan Gotch on Kotaku.com. The internet is a mess, especially after something big happens that pierces the online zeitgeist and bleeds it dry. Right now, that's the fact that newly minted Oscar winner Will Smith seemingly slapped two-time Oscars host Chris Rock over a poor quote-unquote joke regarding Jada Pinkett Smith at last night's 2022 Academy Awards. And as millions rushed to post their feelings about something that had nothing to do with them, people who are not the Will Smith or the Chris Rock, but still happen to share their legal names, were caught in the social media crossfire. Um, I'm not going to read all the tweets because there's a lot of profanity, but basically what happened was Will Smith, who is a public game publicist and former Maximum PC editor-in-chief, Will Smith, posted a tweet that just said "Welp" right after the smack happened, and then he said, "I'm sorry you're offended. I'm sorry if you're offended." And then the article goes on to say, in the aftermath of the slap, which was reportedly done in defense of Pinkett Smith's public battle with an autoimmune disorder that can result in hair loss, many attempted to tag the Will Smith on Twitter to yell about what happened. But at some point, the Fresh Prince actor had locked his account, so they got the other Smith instead, at Will Smith. This is seemingly what happened to famous ESPN sports commentator Stephen A. Smith, who blasted the actor for the incident, but in doing so sent a viral crapstorm the other Smith's way. Quote, "Real talk, I'm not the person you're upset/happy with," unquote, other Smith later tweeted. Quote, "I make podcasts and video games for a living," unquote. Smith currently does communications for Stray Bombay, which recently released co-op shooter The Anacrusis in early access on Xbox. Quote, "At the risk of making people ticked off at me instead of that other guy, the world would be a better place if we stopped answering words with violence," unquote. Smith did not immediately respond to a request for comment. And this is my favorite part. Some people tried to play along with the internet's latest case of mistaken identity. Quote, "I think you two need to hug this out," unquote, one person wrote to Smith, jokingly tagging at Chris_Rock, who also happens to be a veteran game developer. Quote, "Learn to accept a joke. I mean, your wife did," unquote, game developer Chris Rock wrote back. And then it just kept going and going and going. But what's stupid about this is that some people clearly saw that it was a joke. But then other people started replying to that tweet saying, "No, wait, why are you guys making such light of this? Like, this was a big deal." Which, this is just what happens when the internet decides to react to something before it, I don't know, understands it.
Yeah. So the thing that Chris Rock, he made a joke, gosh. He said something about he was excited for the next G.I. Jane 2 movie, in reference to her bald head. And she has like that immune disorder, which, affects hair and everything like that. And initially, he was laughing about it. Will Smith was laughing about it, but you could tell she wasn't. And she
Right.
kind of gave him the look, so she is. So then he's like, okay, now I got to go defend. Like, it was just, it's stupid. Like, I get that we're roasting the fact of the internet coming at these two game developers, which is hilarious. And
I think it's
should be
really funny.
roasted.
I'm just kind of
It's
roasting
stupid.
social media in
It's
general
so
for
stupid.
being itself.
Yeah, exactly. But this is also a double roast because we got to roast every stinking celebrity that it's like, okay, they're having this nomination, right? They're getting awards while Ukraine is getting bombarded with missiles, and then they have the audacity to get upset over a joke.
I mean, it was.
This
I mean,
should
yes.
not be. This should not be headline news. Like,
Well,
this should
yes.
not be considered top page 1 articles, but it is. Why? Because America.
Well, it's not just America.
Sometimes.
Like humans just love obsessing over celebrity. I don't know why, but there's historical records that back in Rome, people could buy the sweat of their favorite gladiator and wear it in a pendant around their neck. So this is nothing new. Humans are
gives me ideas for
weird.
D&D now. That gives me
Gross.
ideas for D&D stuff.
That's disgusting.
Magical pendants of your favorite.
I just wanted to roast the internet about get your names and Twitter handles right before you decide to go off on people. But no,
real.
that would require thought.
Yes, and journalism and digging into
Oh,
something.
no,
Not
this is
even
just
the
people.
very basics. The very basics of
These
just
is-
look. Well, I'm
these
talking
aren't
about
journalists. These are just people.
I was talking about Stephen A.
Oh yeah, him.
People that have been in the business of if you have a blue check mark by your name on Twitter, learn how to check a tag. learn how to check a Twitter handle. Come on, people.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
I just think
Anyway,
it's really funny because both Will Smith and Chris Rock's profile pictures show that they're very much not Will Smith and Chris Rock, because there's pictures and draw, like
right.
he's got a cartoon. The one guy's got, Will Smith has a cartoon of himself, and Chris Rock is a picture of him sipping a cup of coffee. It's not the same people.
Derek said, if someone disrespects my wife, best believe I'm slapping whoever. Just playing. I have no idea what I do. Well, well, and it
Depends.
depends.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know that
like,
I'm not a violent person, mostly because I don't think I could handle myself in a fight. So there's that.
well, like one point, my neighbor started yelling, cussing at my wife, and it took everything in me not to like lay the dude out, right? But I didn't. I did yell back a lot and got in his face. But the difference is if I went to a comedy show and there was a comedian telling jokes and I was in the front row, and he made a joke about Carly while we're in the front row at a place where the guy on stage is supposed to tell jokes, then I'd be like, oh, haha, you got
Yeah.
you got made fun. Like that's what Chris Rock does. Like it or don't like it, he's a comedian. And when you're on the front row and there's a comedian on stage, he chooses the people in front of him. It is what it is. So, like, in that instance, if you didn't like it, talk to him after. Talk to him after. Don't go up in front of everyone and assault the man
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
just be like, and that's the thing. Another roast on everything else. If I were to get up on stage and slap a comedian across the face, I would be arrested, escorted out, and spend the night in jail and then face charges. He just goes to get an Oscar and apologizes, not to Chris Rock. He'll go, I'm sorry to the Academy, and then goes, I've been put on this earth um, to care for people, be a light for love and peace, and this is what God's called me to do, and I'm glad I can do what God's calling me to. It's like, hypocrite much? Come on.
anyway. This is getting a little deeper than I expected. Yeah,
Derek said,
Derek's comment makes me angry. First of all,
I heard Will Smith slapped him with an open hand because paper always beats rock. Oh
oh me, oh
gosh.
my, this is
The
getting a little
memes
deeper
are
than I
great.
was expecting. I just wanted to make fun of social media, but now we're getting into a whole sociological. Uh,
Well, then let's go ahead and bring in our guest. Go
yay!
ahead and introduce him. This is you, Wesley.
Yeah, so I've actually known Gerard for a while. He and I went to college together. So Gerard Hall, he's a streamer. He's been streaming on Twitch for a good while now. But he and I are just friends from back in college. We sang in choir together. We did shows together. He's been a supporter of the podcast for a while now. So we wanted to have him on, kind of talk to him, get his take on gaming, streaming, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, maybe. I know, let's not talk about that anymore. But yeah, Gerard,
Hello.
hello.
Hello, hello.
Sorry, that took us a while to get to you. Sorry about that.
You're totally okay. Thank you so much for having me on. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks
it.
for coming.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're doing the Brady Bunch shuffle again.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I have the big screen now. Oh man.
So Gerard, how long have you been streaming? I know I tried to give you an intro, but honestly, it's probably better if you just intro yourself.
Yeah, you're totally fine. I've been streaming on and off for about a year now. I had to stop for a while because I was in the middle of moving from one apartment complex to another,
Gotcha.
and so it was really hard to find like a good place to stream. But then when I finally moved into a downtown, into the place I'm at now, I was able to get all my stuff set up, and yeah, I've been just kind of streaming back and forth from for about a few months now.
Sweet.
Yep.
What
Yeah.
initially got you into? Well, let's put this into two parts. What got you into games in general, but then also what convinced you? What made you want to try streaming?
So, what got me into games is in general is, I think the pandemic definitely like had like something to do with it, with just like being stuck at home and not having like a whole lot to do.
Right.
I've been like I have been playing games when I was like younger. I would play like Spyro and Crash, but I did like fall out of gaming. But I guess ever since the pandemic, I just really like picked up my Switch and just found some really like neat games that like I realized I haven't really like played through. So
Cool.
like yeah, like Mario Kart and like Zelda and stuff like that. So
You want to talk about a game that'll take up a lot of your time? You're saying Breath of the
oh
Wild?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's really fun, really addicting, but oh yeah.
That's an easy 100-hour game. Easy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and then to answer your second question, with what got me into streaming is again during the pandemic. I so my friend Andrew Cora, he does streaming on Twitch from time to time, and so I would go and support him, and through him, it led me to basically down this rabbit hole of seeing like a whole ton of other streamers, and I'm like kind of thinking like, oh, this is really cool, and I'm really having like a lot of fun watching these guys. I thought maybe I could just like try to do it myself and see like where it goes with it,
Yeah.
and I do enjoy it quite a bit, and I don't always get to stream as often as I do, but I mean when I do, I like to stream like Ori and the Blind Forest, or I like to stream. I'm playing through Hollow Knight.
Oh my.
Yeah,
That's a
Dragon
tough one.
Quest, things like that. So I'm trying to
Okay.
like diversify in the kind of games that I'm playing. So
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really
yeah,
cool.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Streaming is, we were talking to Josh Garcia last week about just the communities that can form around streaming, which is really weird because you wouldn't expect it. Like, who would have thought that watching other people play video games would make you feel connected to people? But
Yeah,
um, there just
no
seem to be
kidding.
whole like communities of people that have each other's backs that form around just games, just not even playing games, just watching other people play games. So
Yeah,
it's
no
not a world
kidding.
that I've really been involved in all that much, but it's one that I find very fascinating. Oh, hello, there we
Oh,
go. Got
hi,
light
sorry.
now.
Yeah, sorry. I was just trying to like see if I could get a little light because I realize how dark I am.
I need to get a ring light eventually.
Yeah,
We're still learning. We
yeah.
clearly do not have a professional streaming
I'm
setup.
still learning
Well,
myself.
we did. Well, not streaming, but recording, and then we moved to the streaming. So, we're getting there. We're getting there.
It'll take us a while.
But I was curious on what's your least favorite type of genre of games? Like, what's one that
Oh
you
man.
don't touch it? Like, you're like,
Oh,
uh-uh.
that's a good question. Um, I don't know. I guess I feel like first person shooters. Part of that could be because I don't play enough of them. Like I tried like a couple months back to because I got Doom on my Switch, and I tried playing through that like a couple times actually, but I just it was always like so confusing for me, and I never like quite got the hang of it.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll eventually find a first person shooter that I could genuinely be interested in, but yeah, I guess I would say that. Now,
Interesting.
with that being said, I like when I was younger, I would play I had an Xbox 360, and I did play Halo with my older brother, and so yeah, I get, and if not that, I would say like slash like scary kind of games. I think in fact I would even I think put that a little bit over the first person shooters, but
Got you.
Well, you would
yeah.
hate BioShock.
Really?
The first BioShock is like a horror first person shooter,
Oh,
which I
It's a
didn't
fun.
know
combo.
going into it. I just thought, oh, it's BioShock. It's a fun, like,
Yeah,
everybody
you
talks
know.
about this game. I'd seen BioShock Infinite, which is less horrifying. And then I played the first one and it was like, oh,
Oh.
okay, hi. So
Oh
what
See,
man.
is
for
your
me,
oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, for me, first person shooters are my second favorite
Really?
genre. Yeah, RPGs are my first open world RPG, and then
Yeah, see, I'm like trying to get more into RPGs. I've heard that like Tina's Wonderland, which is like a mix of like D&D and then like Borderlands, that just came out,
Isn't
and
it time?
I'm
Oh, I was
sorry.
gonna say, isn't it Tiny Tina being the DM of her own like
I think
D
so.
and
Yeah,
D
I've
game
seen.
set in the Borderlands universe?
I think so. Yeah, I've seen like a couple people like play it a little bit, and it looks like really cool. Partly because I have this D&D campaign going on with some of my friends, and I'm really enjoying that a lot.
Hmm.
And so, but I mean, I haven't played a whole ton of first person shooters, so I think that might be like partly like why I'm not like as interested in the genre. But
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I'm with you. I've always found first person shooters hard to engage with. I don't know why. I tried Half-Life a long time ago. I bought Half-Life
Mhm.
and Half-Life 2. They were on sale, so I've got them on my PC. And they just, I don't know, they didn't click for me. Like it's
Yeah.
fun. It's just confusing. Like I never know where I'm supposed to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, exactly.
Unless it's like super obvious. I will say that's something Halo does really well is guiding you along. I've been playing through Halo Reach with Aaron, and I have never been confused as to where to go. And it's not like
Interesting.
it lays everything out for you, but just like
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. It's just natural.
yeah.
I think
I
Halo
mean,
is probably one of the most accessible first-person shooter franchises.
yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, I do have a Game of Pass, so who knows? Maybe eventually I'll like download a first-person shooter and try my
Yeah,
hand at like something else.
you can get all the Halo
Well,
games in the Master Chief Collection.
I could, you know.
hey. Well, and as far as RPGs go, if you're trying to get into an RPG, I would recommend Tunic. Um,
That's more of a
that
roguelite, isn't it?
it's like a smaller RPG. At least that's how I've heard it described. They have a lot
I've
of
been
RPG elements into it.
Isn't that
Put
like
into it.
the game based on like a cat? Or
It's
think
a
it's a
something?
fox.
fox. It's yeah,
Fox.
a fox.
Oh,
You get
okay.
and you get like different gear that you can arm up with and kind of build your character the way you want him to fight and things. So maybe that's the main RPG element is you get to decide what you become.
You can
It's
class it
just
up.
Interesting.
yeah. But that
Interesting.
I heard gets really difficult. But it also is one that if you start playing and decide that it's too difficult, you can turn on immunity and you don't have to get like invincibility essentially. Um,
Interesting.
so
Okay.
you can
Really?
kind of adjust that to yeah. So you can adjust to your skill level just to enjoy the story and the fighting without the fear of having to be killed over and over again. If only
Nice.
Elden Ring
I
gave that
played.
same
That
option.
would defeat the point. Oh yeah, you bought Elden
Oh
Ring,
no, you're
didn't
right.
you?
It totally would. Huh?
You bought
Say
Elden
what?
Ring. I forgot. Can
Yes,
you
and
guys
I
hear me?
did
Am
kill
I?
that
Yeah. Of
defenseless dragon. I did. I
course you
killed the
did.
mom dragon. But here's the thing: I didn't just run up and stab it and go to get my 80,000 runes. I went to the front of the dragon, and I was like, maybe no one else tried this. I wanted to talk to it. I was like, maybe it'll give me a quest. Maybe it'll give me something and I will let this thing live. I wanted to let it live, Wes. I walked up to it. The thing got mad.
Oh,
It
that's not
roared and
fun.
all of its babies woke up and started to attack me. So it wasn't defenseless. I mean, it itself was, but the babies were very rude. So I summoned my wolves to kill the baby dragons, which they didn't do because they're dragons.
Oh,
And I then killed the mother dragon. I gave it a chance.
Yeah.
I wanted to do the
yeah,
right
you
thing.
did.
You gave it one chance by marching
And
up in front of it.
I just walked up. I was like, hello. And it was like, I'm going to kill you now. And I was like, okay. No.
I
And
guess
so
it's better than nothing.
I did.
Yeah.
I tried to take the path of least resistance, and it chose it was Will Smith. It woke up and chose violence that day. Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Way to tie in segments. I see.
I know, right?
Topical reference. Check. There we go.
Oh,
Oh me, oh my.
perfect.
Yeah, I'm never touching. I'm never touch. I almost said I'm never touching Will Smith. I'm never touching Elden Ring.
He'll
I'm
slap
never.
you if you do.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
I'm
the
not.
thing is,
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say, see, the thing is, I really like want to like get Elden Ring, but I mean, I know it's like this huge open like world like RPG kind of game, but I mean, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like it reminds me a lot like Breath of the Wild, which
Yeah,
intrigues me. So
it's
I don't
open
know.
world Dark Souls. It's
Okay.
it's from software, the same people that made Dark Souls, and it's an open world. So yeah, it's open world Dark Souls. So if you like Dark Souls and if you like open world games, it's your ideal game. I
Okay.
don't ever want to touch Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I have no interest in a game
Hmm.
franchise that makes its whole thing punishing difficulty.
Hmm.
Oh
I've
my
heard it's
gosh, it's
amazing.
so
I've heard that you have to try it even if it's not your thing. I don't wanna. I get frustrated at Spider-Man, okay?
I'll put it this way. The one thing that it does is it makes you feel so satisfied and amazing when you finally kill anything.
Mm.
Anything. Cuz you can there's these low level like guys that walk around they like, "Oh, like there was okay, little baby crabs. Baby
Yeah.
crabs do
Baby crabs,
worlds of damage. You
baby
get hit
crabs.
3 or 4 times and you're say a level 12, they will kill you."
Oh,
So
good.
when you kill something, you just feel like a boss. I killed a
Mm.
giant for the first time and felt like an absolute god among men.
There you
And then I
go.
got wrecked
Okay.
by a baby crab. So again, it just you
The
gotta
final
learn to
boss is
dodge,
another baby crab.
right? You gotta learn to dodge, roll, get out of the way, everything like that. But
Huh.
so Gerard, obviously you've watched our show and you've seen things that we do on here. Um,
Mhm.
we go through topics of the show and everything like that. So we'd love to have you continue with us as we go in through these topics. Um,
Okay.
but topic 2 is a little bit of a sad one.
Yeah, this one made me
The
really sad.
Coffee Talk, if you guys haven't played it, it's on Game Pass, I believe, still.
Mm.
Is
Or
it?
the
I don't
trial.
think
The
I don't
trial.
know
The
if it
trial's just
was.
on Xbox. The trial's just on Xbox.
Oh,
That's what it is.
gotcha.
Um, and it's really sad. I think he was only 36 or 31.
32.
Oh, 32. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, he was really young.
But this comes from Kotaku by Jeremy Winslow, and it said, "It's with heavy heart that we must report that Mohammed
Fami.
Fahmy, thank you, the creator of the beloved barista visual novel Coffee Talk and a notable figure in the Indonesian game development scene, passed away over the weekend. He was 32 years old. The cause of death has not been specified at this time." The news was confirmed on Twitter through Fahmy's. Oh gosh, I always. What was it again, Wes?
Fami.
Fahmy, thank you.
Mohammed
Fahmy's
Fami.
account, where a few days ago he posted a video of his cat lovingly munching on his left ear and paid a tribute to Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins, who died on March 25th.
Mm.
And it says a tweet from his account on Sunday, which was written in Indonesian and reportedly came from his sister, announced his tragic and untimely death. And it sucks, you know.
Mhm.
It sucks when
Yeah.
someone, especially that young, is taken. And again, we don't know the cause of his death, but
I
you know,
think
it is sad.
oh, I think I
Oh,
read
go for it.
somewhere it was an asthma attack in the middle of the night.
Mm.
Mm.
I this one kind of hit weirdly because I just finished playing Coffee Talk. I think it was my game that I reviewed for February for Geeks Under Grace. So I just
Mm.
finished playing it. And it's something special. It really is. It's got a lot of heart. It's got a ton of charm. Um it's a game that I think I can say with full confidence the people that made it were enjoying what they did because it's got that special something. Like there's so many games that you can play that are like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, it's really engaging gameplay. There's not a lot of games that you can say are just charming and full of heart. And this one
Yeah.
has so much charm. Like there's just little flourishes of detail here and there. There's just the more you look at it, the more fun it gets. Like at one point, so it's a visual novel, and so
Okay.
obviously a lot of reading. At one
Mhm.
point, they used the wrong "your," and I was like, "Oh, it's an indie game. It could be a typo." No, that turned into an amazing fourth wall breaking joke, like where the character corrects them. They're like, "It's your," and they're like, "Wait, how did you hear that? I'm talking to you." Like it was really funny. Like it made me laugh out loud. Just stuff like that. It's such a special game, and just hearing everybody talk about him, it sounds like he had a really special relationship with the team. Um, yeah, no, I could tell that this was this guy had this guy had a lot of heart. If he put his heart in this game, That Coffee Talk is one of my it's one of my favorites. Honestly, I'm going to go back to it sometime when I'm a little more distance to it.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's hard too when he had so much more that he wanted to give to games, and
Yeah,
to be such a uh, gifted developer like that and create like it's a bummer, it really does. It's
yeah,
sad.
Yeah.
So, just if you guys want to pick up that game, at least pick up the trial, play through it, try it out. He poured his heart and his soul into this game. And then so try it out, see what you guys think. And hey, if it's not for you, it's not for you,
yeah.
but it definitely seems like a cool game that, you can just relax after a long day. And hey, it has coffee in it, like legit. Like
Mm.
that's right up our alley. You know what I'm
Gamers
saying?
First
Exactly.
recommended.
Like,
Yeah, it's really not that
so,
expensive either. I think it's like $12 on Steam. So
right.
Okay.
So definitely show you guys the support for him and
yeah,
his family and the team over there. So, but moving on to something a little more exciting and uplifting. Um, this is Bull City Gaming and Cancer Society team up for Gamers versus Cancer virtual tournament. Um, this is an article from CBS 17, and it says Bowl City Gaming and the American Cancer Society are teaming up to host an esports tournament called Gamers versus Cancer East next week that will help combat healthcare inequality in the fight against cancer. The fully virtual Rocket League tournament is set to start at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on April 9th. The event will stream live at www.twitch.tv/BullCityGG, and we'll add that in the description below for anyone wondering, and feature a $5,000 prize pool. All funds raised will go toward combating healthcare inequality in the fight against cancer. Quote, health equality is a core driver for our mission, end quote, said Daniel Winder, vice president of Gamers versus Cancer. Quote, cancer is a disease that can affect anyone, but it does not affect everyone equally, due primarily to the structural racism and socioeconomic, oh gosh,
socioeconomic.
socioeconomic. Thank you. Inequality. Black communities and other populations are desperately impacted by cancer by experiencing greater obstacles to cancer prevention, detection, treatment, and survival. These issues help guide the American Cancer Society daily in every initiative we undertake, from providing rights to treatment locally to advocating for access to health care nationwide. Support from gamers is critical to our mission, the health of our communities and equality, end quote, Widener said. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah,
April 9th, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys can hop on Twitch, watch that. All the donations, from what it sounds like the bits, just straight donations to them, all of that stuff, it goes towards fighting cancer, and
hmm
I don't know. I think that's a worthy cause, obviously. Like, that's
Yeah.
something that, it's really cool to see the gaming community get together and get behind something like this and really do something to help people. Because, like we said, gaming isn't just about having fun. It's a
right.
community, it's a family, it's a group of people that truly do care about each other and about others. So
Yeah.
I really wanted to point that out. I just thought it was really cool and something that we could definitely get behind.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I think it's interesting that they're pointing out healthcare inequality, which is something that I wasn't even really aware of up until the last year or so. Just the ways in which different communities are impacted by health and the healthcare system and access to proper healthcare. I think it's really cool that they're going at this from a very very specific angle of trying to right those wrongs. It cancer itself is terrible, but to have a community where you're not able to get the treatment you need and the advice you need, that's I mean doubly scary. So it's cool that they're not only fighting cancer, but they're fighting that inequality to treatment for cancer.
Right. I mean,
Mhm.
cancer alone feels like a death sentence, let
Yeah.
alone,
Mhm.
and I'm not saying it is. There's a lot of people, my in-laws actually both have overcome different cancers, but if you can't get the treatment, i- it's just, you know what I mean? It just,
Yeah.
it really does feel like that and you feel hopeless. So
Mhm.
again, like you said, I think that it's really cool that they're pinpointing a certain aspect to go at this.
Yeah.
Um,
We talked about something like this a while back. There seems to be a lot of streams that are going more charitable, specifically with cancer. It's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, it really definitely is. So actually, Wes, I'll let you take this one. Topic
Yeah.
4: Fortnite donates to
Oh,
Ukraine.
Fortnite. Do you play Fortnite?
Uh, every now and again I do.
I think we played it once together.
Yeah.
I haven't played it since then.
Yeah, and then I played it with like a couple other friends.
Yeah. Well, so say what you will about Fortnite. Honestly, say what you will about Epic Games. I have my own feelings about it, but at least they're trying to do some good. PCGamer.com, Rich Stanton. Epic and Fortnite is now the single biggest corporate donor to Ukraine and will continue to donate proceeds until April 3rd. Epic Games and Microsoft have, through Fortnite in-game purchases, raised over $70 million to be donated towards humanitarian relief in the ongoing Russo-Ukraine war, and it's still got a week to go. Epic has pledged that from March 20th until April 3rd, all proceeds from real money purchases in Fortnite would be donated to 4 humanitarian organizations currently operating in Ukraine: Direct Relief, UNICEF, the UN World Food Program, and the UN Refugee Agency. The company says, quote, more organizations will be added to this list in the coming weeks, unquote. Xbox agreed to partner up with Epic on this and has committed its net proceeds from Fortnite during this period. In a blog post, Epic clarified it would not wait for transactions to be fully processed, but instead is committing to distributing any funds raised, quote, within days, unquote. Putting this sum in context is difficult, but if you look at the list of foreign aid being given to Ukraine over this period, the amount that Fortnite is contributing is more than some small countries. In terms of other companies, this looks to be the single biggest contribution made by far. Meta Platforms, i.e. Facebook, donated $15 million, Amazon $10 million, and Samsung around $6 million. Although, of course, not all donations can or have been quantified financially. SpaceX's involvement in offering its Starlink system, for example. The Fortnite pledge runs for another 7 days, and you wouldn't bet against it breaking the $100 million mark. In fact, you wouldn't bet against it breaking the $100 million mark. In fact, it may have already done because the $70 million figure is now a couple of days old. Fortnite already seems to be the single largest corporate donor to the Russo-Ukraine conflict, and by the end of the pledge period, the amount will be even higher. Epic and Microsoft deserve all the credit going for this, particularly as the former chose to launch the donation drive at the same time as Chapter 3 Season 2 was released on March 20th, exactly the time when players will be buying their battle passes and fancy new skins. Epic will continue to donate proceeds to Ukraine until the drive ends on April 3rd. That's cool.
That is really cool.
It feels like you got to be careful because, digital brownie points are a big deal. There's a lot of corporate lip service with stuff like this. But the fact is, if they hold up to what they're doing, they're donating almost $100 million to Ukraine. And legit organizations that are helping. I donated to UNICEF the other day, and it's just because UNICEF is one of the most reputable charitable organizations.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's crazy that, okay, first off, they could have done this after their Battle Pass stuff came out, right? They could have been like, oh, look, we're donating. And everyone would have still been excited for it, and they would have got all their money for the Battle Pass. The timing is everything. The fact that they chose to do it before the Battle Pass was released so that all that money gets to go to charity as well, or go to help Ukraine, like, that's amazing. That is awesome. Second thing that I find overly shocking is the fact that Fortnite is still making like $100 million in like 2 weeks. What? What kid is grabbing their mom's wallet and stealing all that money?
Have you seen those new skins, man? Have been, especially since the Marvel partnership.
Oh, I know.
People go nuts for it.
Oh man.
Well, and they have no building in Fortnite right now. So I actually hop back in, and it is a blast because when those kids don't know how to spam the build button and it's about skill, they just run out in the open because they're used to it, and you get to shoot them and have fun. There's nothing more fun than I was like, am I playing against bots? And I looked into it. No, I wasn't. They were real people. But I hadn't played Fortnite in forever. I hopped in every game getting at least 5 kills more. It just, I love the game when there's no building because I suck at building. I just do. That's not my thing.
That's how I am.
But it's really cool that they're doing this. The fact that they're, you said, the biggest and even bigger than some countries.
Yeah.
Well,
especially given the fact that the biggest competition seems to be Meta with $15 million. and Epic's already
Which,
passed the 70 million.
I mean, we could get into how certain people and corporations make billions every year, but sure, let's donate 15 million, get a nice pat on the back. But we won't go into all that, will we?
Nope.
No.
We're not gonna go there.
But no,
Oh,
it's really cool that they were able to that they're able to donate that much money. Like it's just another thing that goes to show you that the people do the right thing. You know, I feel like if you listen to the news, there's a lot of negativity, but there are good people out there, good companies out there that do try to do the right thing and and help other people out. And so yeah, I definitely wanted to include those stories because I feel like that they are relatable to what's happening now and just nice uplifting stories. Sometimes we have a lot of negativity
We
and we
do.
we rant all the time. So it's nice to actually give props where props are due.
Yeah.
Um any last
Oh,
thoughts for either of you guys before we hop out of here?
no, it was nice to end on an uplifting note. It was good to have G. Sorry,
yeah.
we kind of blazed through those news stories real quick, but honestly, it was more just kind of there's not much to talk about. It's just kind of cool that we're seeing some people trying to do good. A little sad to hear about Coffee Talk, but
Yeah.
it's part of life.
I mean, Coffee Talk is definitely a game I'll have on my list of games like to play and all. And and I thank you guys so much again for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a blast having you. We really appreciate your support. You've been a supporter of the show pretty much pretty early on. So I wanted to have you on and get to talk to you a little bit.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Means
for
a
any
lot.
of you guys wondering again about he said he streams, I put up on the screen, follow him at twitch.tv/mystery23548.
How'd you come up with the
So
number? Sorry, I
So-
want I'm a
yeah, no,
question.
that good question. Good
So actually, the whole mystery 23548, that's actually like super early. So when I was 10, I had made like an email account to like do something, and I was just like thinking of, oh, what's a really cool like rad name, and I thought of like mystery, and then I don't really know where the numbers came from. I feel like I just kind of like typed
Just
in random
typed in
numbers on my
Hey.
keyboard, and I'm like, hey, there we go, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it works. So, but yeah, it's
Don't you-
like it was an old email that I had when I was like much younger.
Don't you love it when stuff like that just sticks? It's
Yeah,
just like I don't even remember why I did this, but this is just part of my identity as a person now, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
like Wes's old email.
oh, Wes got an old email.
Mm-hmm.
But
We're not gonna go into that.
but yeah, I'm thinking I might change it a little bit, like maybe like do like something without the numbers, because I hear that it's like easier to get like viewers and get people to follow you and to find your channel if your username doesn't have like numbers attached to it.
Right. If
So-
it's a little easier to remember when you've just got like a name.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, hey,
Well,
if you
hey.
ever need any suggestions,
Yeah.
Thank you.
And follow him here. Follow him at mystery23548 before he changes it, so you guys can
Yeah.
say you were OGs, man.
you were the
Exactly.
originals.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It's a lot of fun having a lot of like guest stars and supporters on the show. It definitely means a lot. And thanks to everyone in the chat for coming out, for watching live, and everyone that watches later on YouTube and listens to our podcast. It means a lot. We're really starting to grow and get a community built around this thing, and it feels really special. And it definitely it's fun. And it gets more fun every single week I do it.
Yeah.
I mean, some weeks, yes. Some weeks I'm tired. Some weeks it's like, been a crazy day. But
Yeah.
for the hour that we're in this podcast and in this show, it helps me kind of unwind and get out of the real world, which we all need from time to time. So thank you guys for
Absolutely.
allowing me and allowing Wes and those that hop in, allowing us to have that, escape, so to speak. And we hope we provide the same for you guys. But yeah, without further ado, thank you guys again. drink lots of coffee, play lots of games, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you around.
Bye.